MrDjl here in the house, and today we are going to crack Kaldheim, Commander Elven Empire. Before I get any further though, please feel free to visit my sponsor. Links are down below in the video, in the description. NorthValleyGames.com. They have an awesome single selection. Use this code at checkout, DJL808. Get yourself 10% off, as well as if you guys are selling cards, you can do it all in the same transaction. Get yourself an extra 10% to the buy list price of any card you're selling. So pretty cool. Well, let's get into it. So this is Commander Elven Empire. Pretty cool. This deck is brutal. Just out of the box, it holds up really well, as far as what I understand. And, if you guys are back in stores, or if you guys are ordering from my sponsor, make sure to ask them, get yourself 10% off one of these sealed. Yeah, good times. So, before we get to the cards, let's see what's in all this extra cardboard. Alright, looks like I got a deck box that you can make, and a cool counter. Nice. This will tell you where your health's at. Keep in mind, for Commander, you start off with 40 health. This is a really good start. There's lots of elves throughout Magic's history, so you're going to have some fun tracking down some awesome elves to fill in some of what's included. Now, keep in mind, right out of the box, this is already pretty strong. You will want to focus on the land base first, then get some cheap elves to fill in some spots that you're just not filling while playing this game. So this little pamphlet here tells you a little bit about your commander. So you have Lathril. She's pretty awesome. We'll get into what she does, but this is just a little bit to tell you, oh yeah, buy some more Kaldheim, of course. This gives you the bare basics, what your command zone is, when you put out your commander. So if you guys are starting out playing commander, this kind of gives you a good rough idea of what's going on. Okay, so there is your awesome foil card. Now, you can get this non-foil if you buy the Kaldheim Collector's Edition. You can get this non-foil if you so chose. But let's see what your commander does. It's a Lathril Blade of Elves. It's a 2 colorless, a black or swamp. Then, of course, you got your green or forest. It's a legendary creature noble. So your legendary creatures are usually your commander when you play commander. It's got menace, so when this guy attacks, or this girl rather, attacks, 2 people have to block her, okay? And she's an elf noble, so elf has been a long-standing tribe since day 1 practically. Whenever Lathril, Blade of Elves, deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green elf warrior creature tokens. Now, for how many ever elves you have, whether they be tokens or real, or what I mean by real is an actual card, not a token, you could tap 10 untapped elves you control. Each opponent takes 10 life. They lose 10 life, and you gain 10 life. And she is just a 2/3. Pretty gnarly. So there's several ways that you can beef her up to hit the opponent, which typically you'll have between, obviously, 1 versus 1, or you're going to go against a total of 4. So it becomes more of a social game, and you can see why this is more popular than most Magic the Gathering formats. Let's see what we get in the deck. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the back immediately. These are typically your tokens. In this particular one, you're going to be spawning lots of elves. Look at that. You get a lot of elf warrior tokens. Okay. Now, on the flip side, oh, look at, there's a elemental 7/7. There's a guy that can spawn those. Ooh. Now imagine if you can get all those out. Crazy, right? And then we got a servo. And there are creatures that will spawn these. So pretty cool. All right, let's get into the deck itself. I'm not going to read all these, as I do want you as a beginning player or advanced player, wherever you may feel that you're at. I do want you to learn the cards on yourself, of course, so you can get the game down better. So we have Ambition's Cost. Draw 3 cards and you lose 3 life for a total of 3 colorless and a black. Card draw is super important in this game, so you want to make sure that you get on that. So this is cool. You can lose 3 life to draw 3 cards. Could come in clutch. We got Blight Callers. All right, so this is an elf warrior. When he dies, create 3 1/1 elf warrior creature tokens, then mill 3 cards. So you're going to place the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Now, this could have some options. If you go in later, you could do some graveyard play and play some stuff that died back, so you can actually bring this back, but it is kind of a high cost. So 5, if it dies, it's a 3/3. No other abilities, so if this dies, you create 3/1/1 creature tokens, and you mill. Alright. Then Blight Massacre. So this is a sorcery. It's a 2-drop, so 2 colorless, 2 black. Non-elf creatures get -2/-2 till the end of turn. This could be kind of a board wipe, an early start board wipe, but it's going to take you a minute. It's going to cost you 4. So I'm going to put that one in the maybe pile. We got an Elf Assassin, pretty cool. It's a 3-drop. Discard an elf card. Target creature gets -X/-X till the end of turn, where X is the number of elves you control. Keep in mind, you're going to go wide with this deck. Tons and tons of creature tokens. So there you go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and skim through here just a little bit. There is lots of stuff that comes in handy, especially like the Elven Mystic. You're going to have some what they call mana dorks. Basically, you're going to be spawning mana from your creatures and your lands. Here's more. Create a 1/1 creature token for each elf you control. So you can, again, go wide with tons of elves. And I'm just looking for key stuff here. This one's funny because basically Landward Tribe used to be 1 green and you spawn a green, but this one you pay 3 and you can actually put 3 green mana out there. So pretty cool. I'm going to thumb through here a little bit, and there are lots of good cards here. And the cool thing too, there is a lot of expensive elves, but not that many. You can get a lot of elves fairly cheap if you're not filling some of these cards in this set. So that one's an interesting one. And love that guy. I would have that in every deck while that was still awesome in Standard. It's Poison Tip Archer, 2 colorless, a black and a green, and it's just a 2/3, but it has Reach and Death Touch, and whenever a creature dies, opponent loses 1 life. I love that card. I overplayed it. There's a kill spell for artifact or creature, and it can't be regenerated, so in other words, you can't bring it back from the graveyard. Shaman of the Pack, so there's a lot of stuff in here that I'm going to be looking over, because I'm going to do a video later and show what I swapped out. So Pact of the Serpent, you can also get this in the collectors. Choose your creature type. Target player draws X amount of cards and loses X life, where X is the number of creatures they control of the chosen type. So you can do that to yourself, or you can do that to an opponent. Again, card draw is pretty big in this game, so you want to make sure that you get that. Ruthless Winnower. So cost 5, so it's a little much, but you can definitely get the mana up in this. It's a 4/4 at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player sacrifices a non-elf creature. So pretty cool. Souljar, Bounty of Skemfar. This one helps you reveal the top 6 of your cards. You can find a land. Among them, put it into the battlefield tapped. And an elf card, you can put them into your hand. So that's how many ever. I guess you can put 1 land card and 1 elf in your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in random order. So you're not losing cards, but it helps you get through. And this one's pretty cool. It's a Canopy Tactician. So it does cost 4. Other elves you get is +1/+1. Can't go wrong there. And you tap it for 3 mana of green. Pretty sick. 3/3. Crown of Skemfar. Little aura. Yep. And it gets +1/+1 for each elf you control. And it has reach. So you can equip this to one of your creatures, and they can be really beefy. Because remember, you're spawning mad elves. So, Wolverine Riders. Okay. This is also a great card. Beast Whispers from an older set. Got Elder Fang Venom. Yep, Cultivator of Blades. This is pretty cool. You can either create servos or put 2 1/1 counters on a creature. There you go. She's pretty fun. Another, what they call Lords, that gives a +1/+1 to your elves. And you gain 1 life for each attacking elf you control. So that's pretty strong. This is also another good one. Another Lord, giving +1/+1. And then you tap it for 1 mana for each elf you control. So you can get some pretty big stuff out pretty quick. That's also an older card. Harvest Season's really good. I actually have a full art of this one. She's awesome. Another Lord. And for 1, you can create an elf token. So you can just have her spawning mad elf tokens by herself. 1 each turn. This one gets a counter for each elf entering the battlefield. So she can get pretty strong pretty quick. And power she has, that's how many mana that you put out there. Masked Admirers. Interesting. Rise of the Exiled. Voice of the Woods. Casualties of War. That can be pretty fun. If you can manage to get all of them off, then it can be worth it. But that's an older card. Twin Blade Assassins, an older card too. Pretty good. These two are always pretty much staples. Actually, these three. Arcane Signet. It's important to have. You have your Soul Ring. Yep. And Command Tower. And then this is going to be your land base. So, of course, you're going to get X amount of swamps and forest. And then you have some more back here. Everything Richless. Poison the Cup. This one's pretty cool. It's a new mechanic from Kaldheim. So, basically, you can pay 2, and they don't know what it is. Your opponent doesn't know. And then for 2, you can kill a target creature and scry 2 if you foretold it. So, that's pretty cool. Return upon the table. Okay. Skemfar Shadow Mage, she's pretty awesome. The Shadow Elven Ambush. Roots of Wisdom. Okay, so these are some of the newer ones. And yeah, definitely good stuff. But you probably want to consider fixing up your lands base. Fell Orchard is okay, but it just comes in tapped. It does give you black and green mana. And then, of course, the Guild Gate's not that strong. You have this one comes into tap, but you have to return a land you control to the owner's hand. So you could do every turn a black and green, but it's a little tricky. There's better cards that you can fill in that spot. Jungle Hall I always like. It's just, you get it comes in tapped, you gain a life, and then you can tap it for black or green. And Mirrored Landscape. Okay, so you could pay 2 to sack this to bring out 2 basic cards that share the same land type. Put them on the battlefield tapped. Oh, okay. And then Path to Ancestry is pretty cool. You can add a mana of any color. Commander's Identity, so that would be black and green for this. When that mana is spent to cast a spell, creature spell that is, shares a creature type with your commander, you get to look at the top card of your deck, so that's pretty fun. Alright guys, so that has been the Commander Elven Empire. So, good times. Thank you so much for joining me today. Again, my name is MrDjlonghair, and my sponsor here, if you're seeing this in the stores, of course, North Valley Games. Go check them out. Lots of fun elves to look up if you buy this deck. So you guys have a great one. Thanks so much for joining me today, and bye.